Hey there, everybody. Liz here. Thank you so much for joining me for this live stream today. I am super excited to be talking about your body needs this reset. Why slowing down helps you feel better and get stronger. So, if you don't know me, I am Liz Philippone. I help people stay strong, confident, and independent by combining evidence-based training with mindful movement and nervous system support. I'm a multi-certified fitness and yoga professional specializing in strength, mobility, and corrective exercise for midlife and older adults. My overall approach focuses on building resilience, not perfection, so my clients can move better, reduce pain, and continue doing what they love for years to come. How does that sound? I love the sound of that. I want to do things for years and years to come. It's probably why I do what I do, right? And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. If you are watching on the YouTube channel, please don't forget to like this video or hit subscribe if you want to hear more topics like this in fitness, health, around nervous system support, right? Who needs that, right? We all need a little bit of that. So I'm going to jump right into this. So, and please stay till the end. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about a really cool mini program that I am reviving back. So in my email last week, if you're on my email list, you probably saw this question. If you're on my social media, you probably saw this question. But if you're not on my email list, please join my email list. I will put that in the description box of this live video. But in my email last week, I asked a simple question: what helps you feel calmer? And the options were walking, prayer / meditation, talking to someone, resting. And then I went back and I saw a couple responses here. And the responses I got were mainly resting. And some people even described what resting meant to them. It was reading a book quietly, like reading a book in a quiet environment. You know, just this one thing they're focusing on. Yeah. Another person was like rest. And then they added a little bit of something, whether it was a short walk in there, resting, and then maybe a little nap, right? So just thinking about that, I'd love to hear your response to that. You know, which one do you go to most? Is it walking, giving yourself some quiet time, talking it out? Yeah, sometimes we have to talk things out. Or resting, all right? And fully resting. I don't mean resting and scrolling on your phone, right? Like really just resting and kicking back. And just notice how simple these things are. They're very simple things, right? And yet we don't always prioritize them. It's very, very interesting. I find it. And I'm just going to say, you know, a couple of live streams ago, I talked about a time when I was just on the go all the time. And it burned me out, right? It eventually just burned me out, y'all. So yeah, we don't want burnout, right? We should also notice that if we give ourselves these moments to reset, we can actually prevent burnout from happening because we're giving ourselves the time, the solace, the pause to kind of reflect and being like, what's going on here, right? Do I like what's going on here or do I not like what's going on here? How can I change what's going on here? So just those like reflection questions, right? Like we don't give ourselves time to do that. So last week I talked about the nervous system, and we're going to talk more about this program that I'm doing at the end of the month, April 27th. So stay tuned. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But, it's really important to slow down, right? It helps us feel better. It helps us get stronger. I talked a lot about that in the last couple of live streams. I'm not going to go back to that information, but, we're always in go mode. I talked about we're busy, we're rushing, we're thinking all the time. This feels productive, but it's draining us out, right? It is just literally draining us out. And then, of course, resetting and recovery mode. I talked about the parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah, that is where we can restore our energy. That's where we can heal a little bit if we are getting over something. And it's where clarity can happen. Those aha moments of like, oh, wow, like I never thought about that, or this just came up. And why didn't I think about that before? This solution, right? It's because we didn't give ourselves time to slow down. Hi, Joe. Thanks for watching. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. And remember, you can always go and rewatch any of these videos as many times as you want. So why does all this matter? Why slowing down, right? So when your system doesn't reset, you might notice this: low energy, tightness and stiffness, trouble relaxing just in general. And then feeling like your workouts, your exercises aren't actually working anymore. And again, I said this last week, it's not that you need to do more, it's that your body just needs more support, and we might not know what that is. I get it. Sometimes we don't have time to slow down, or slowing down feels kind of uncomfortable, right? Comment below if that's you, right? I know a lot of people who slowing down, it's too much, right? Because maybe they have too much going on in their head. And sometimes that's just part of it. It's being with all that stuff. That's what it's about. And there's things you can do to calm that down. So I'm just going to connect back to the answers to that question I gave out in my email, as well as my social media. And that was, what helps you feel calmer? Is it walking, prayer, or meditation, talking to someone, or resting? So let's connect back to that. All right. So briefly, I'm just going to go back to walking. I love walking. It's great exercise. It's like my cardio these days, right? Just to exercise my heart and whatnot. But it actually helps give my brain a break. It actually helps me clear my head out a little bit, especially if I have been working or dealing with some stuff, right? I get the hell out and walk if I can, if it's not pouring rain or storming or something. But even just the rhythmic part of walking is very calming. Yeah. And that helps regulate your system, your nervous system, because, you're moving energy, you're kind of moving that stress out, that energy out. It does help reset and regulate, and taking some deep breaths maybe while you're walking too. I do a lot of that. It's amazing what I've noticed on my walks. I'm just going to share this, is as I'm walking now, I walk for a little bit. It doesn't happen right away, but all of a sudden, like this big deep breath comes, and I'm like, like it's just this relief of like, wow, like I kind of just feel like I'm settling in now and chilling out, right? It's like that sigh that, you take that big breath and you're like, that's your nervous system, right? That's your parasympathetic nervous system being like, okay, we can kick into a little relaxation mode, a little recovery mode. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. The next one is prayer or meditation. Okay, so even if you're not religious, right? I'm not a big religious person, but I do meditate, and I feel like they're the same. Okay, I grew up Catholic, even though I'm not a practicing Catholic, but they go hand in hand. It's the same thing, really. Yeah, it really is, right? Because it slows the mind down, especially if you repeat a certain prayer every day or a mantra. I don't always do mantras, right? I focus on my breath. So what does that do? It slows the mind down completely. Even if you're reciting something, that's all you're focusing on. So it's going to slow your mind down because you're giving your brain one thing to focus on. Prayer, as in the prayer itself, the words, yeah, how many times you repeat them. And then, of course, with meditation, if you focus on your breath work or a mantra, again, you're giving your brain just this one thing to focus on. And your mind is going to wander. That's what it does. It's not about stopping the brain from wandering. I'm just going to put that out there with meditation and prayer. It's not about just stopping the brain completely. Like, that's how the brain works. That's just what it does naturally. It's just like, how can I go from that, whatever thought that creeped in, right? How can I refocus back to what I was just doing, whether it's the prayer or the meditation mantra? Okay, does that make sense? So it slows the mind down and it signals safety. Yeah? So going on, the next one, talking to a friend. I know a lot of people need to do this. I do too. We all need to talk to human beings, not just through our phones. And I mean, like, maybe on the phone, right? Texting helps sometimes, but sometimes I got to get on the phone, on the horn with somebody like that. I need to hear their voice. I want them to hear me because we want to be heard, right? It's a good emotional release, whatever it is, to just talk to somebody, and knowing that certain person that you're talking to, you're not there to like help them, you don't want them to fix you, right? Definitely not. You just want somebody to listen. And it's that connection that we make with people, with a friend, a trusted friend, or a therapist or a coach or whoever. It's that connection that helps with the regulation as well, because we're being heard, we're being seen. That person might repeat something back to us and really help us look at something from a different perspective. And it's like, right, we can take that deep breath, right? And then when I go to the last option, resting. Like I said, the responses that I got, some people were specific, whether it was a quick walk or reading with a book in a quiet environment. Maybe it's journaling, but maybe it is taking a quick nap, like closing your eyes and really allowing your body to shut down, shut off a little bit. Sometimes the meditation for me helps me do that if it's in the middle of the day and I need to kick back and rest. But it allows that physical and mental reset. Okay, both of those. It allows your body to rest, but then also your head, because, telling yourself, hey, I got this chunk of time to rest. I'm going to do that. And then get comfortable, if you can. I know sometimes we're at work. Maybe we're in our car. Yeah, I've been in my car and been like, okay, this is my opportunity to rest. What can I do? I might put my phone aside. I might put some nice music on. I might shut everything off, to be perfectly honest with you. Sometimes shutting all the things off helps you rest. So there's different tools, right? These are different tools, but it's the same goal, right? It's helping your body shift out of stress mode. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. If there's anything you want to share about that, things that help you, like, what does a walk really do for you? Hi, Margie. I see you're live on YouTube. Thanks for joining. Yeah. So just, if you want to share in the comments, like, hey, this is, what I do for resting. This is how I do to reset. I would love to hear what helps you. Okay. So small moments of slowing down aren't a luxury. They're how your body resets, right? This isn't sort of it's not a luxury. You got to make it your priority. Does that make sense? It's not a luxury. Some people look at these things as, oh, it's such a luxury to be able to like slow down. If you do little things for yourself every day, it's going to build up. It really is. It's going to build up more and more. And that's what we're going to do in the Nervous System Reboot program. I call it Step Out of Stress is what it's called. It's a 5-day mini reset. And it's about giving you these options of like little things that you can do every day that can build up into a bigger thing. So like when you go on vacation, you can actually chill out, right? I think it's so hard sometimes. Like I watch my husband. Okay, I'm going to talk about him real quick. He's got a stressful job, and he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He knows this. It's not a lie. If he were watching this right now, he puts a lot of pressure on himself, not only in his job, but for his family. But it's like sometimes when we go away on vacation, I can tell he's just not settled yet. You know what I mean? Like he didn't give himself that time to really like look forward to like, okay, I'm going to really shut down here. I'm going to shut my, I'm going to really like help myself relax a little bit. And sometimes it's like, he's the type of person who has to be doing things to actually feel like useful. And I try to instill in him like, hey, sometimes you have to just do nothing. You have to actually learn and teach yourself to actually do nothing. And that's hard for a lot of people. Let me know in the comments if that's hard for you, or if at one point in your life it was hard. And it happens to me too. I'm still a mom, I'm a mom of an 11-year-old. I still feel the mom guilt, especially if I choose to go out or go away somewhere by myself. It's back there it's in the background. But when you let your system reset, everything works better. It starts to work better. You recover better and faster. You move better. You can think more clearly, and you feel more like yourself. Yeah. I get it. Sometimes we need that talk therapy. I was in therapy for years and years and years. And I was lucky to have had a therapist who did exercises like the ones we're going to do in the nervous system reboot. So let's see where we are in the time. So I just wanted to practice a quick little thing. I did this a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do it again. We're going to take 3 nice slow breaths together. If you're driving right now, don't do that. Well, you can do this when you drive. I think it's a great way to drive. Just don't close your eyes if you're driving. So just wherever you are, feel your feet on the floor. If you want to close your eyes, or maybe find a fixed point somewhere. But go ahead and just sit down, ground down. Go ahead, take a deep breath down into your lungs. Exhale it out. You can do that out the mouth or out the nose. Let's inhale again down into your lungs. Exhale it out. One more time. Take a deep breath in. And exhale it out. All right. And there's nothing forced about that. You're just noticing the breath, noticing that inhale and the exhale. 3 breaths, maybe boost it up to 5. Do that before you eat your meal. Do that after a long day. Do that before your day. Do that in the middle of the day. It's going to give you that quick little reset. And the more you do that, the more you're going to feel the difference. You're going to feel those results. All right. So you don't need more intensity. All right. The world doesn't need more intensity than already, is going on. You just need the balance, right? I know that word's thrown out a lot, balance, but you do. You need that balance, and it's your nervous system plays a key role in that. So feeling better doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from supporting your body differently. And that's what we're going to do in the Nervous System Reboot program. It's called Step Out of Stress. And I'm so excited. If this is resonating with you and you're realizing your body just might need a little bit more of this type of work, and I'm not asking you, it's not hours of work. It's just like those 3 little breaths, right? then this might be for you, right? So it's simple, it's structured, it's supportive, okay? It's going to include, before I get into what it's going to include, this is how you're going to feel, because I've done this program twice already and the feedback I got was amazing. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have less tension in your body wherever you hold that tension. You're going to recover better, and you're going to have more consistency in whatever it is that you are trying to do in your life, whether it's a exercise routine, you're recovering from something, you're trying to write a book, right? Things like that, all sorts of different things. This is going to give you a way to actually practice what we talked about. This is everything right here. So that's how you're going to feel after doing this 5-day reset. And what it involves, what it entails, is maybe a gentle daily movement to incorporate into your day. The breath work. In fact, the breath work is probably going to be the number one thing that we focus on every day. And then with that breath work, we might add a little something, whether it's a gentle movement like shoulders, spine, simple things that aren't going to like hurt you, right? Or be strenuous. Short meditations. I have a lot of those. And then just little like journal prompts, right? And the reason I'm doing this in 5 days is I want to not only carry this breath work, because the breath is really the key to regulating your nervous system. I really feel like that's like the first foremost thing in regulating your nervous system is the breath. That's why I kind of want to keep that going on a daily streak. I want people to really breathe. And I'm just going to tell you, when I did my Foundation First series, I included this breath work in there because all my programs include some type of nervous system support, where I really teach people how to connect with their breath, especially when you're lifting weights, very important. When you're doing core work, very important, right? This one woman, she was like, I was having reflux. And when I started doing this breath work, it's gone. That's what she told me. And she wrote me a nice little note about it. And I was like, what? Like her reflux, she was experiencing reflux. And when she started doing this breath work that we're gonna do in this reset program, it helped it. Like she was like, it's actually kind of gone now. So she's not stopping it now. She does it daily. She does it daily now. And that was like a 7-day thing. And it made a huge difference in that. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the breath work, that says a lot, because reflux, yes, many different reasons why we experience reflux. I'm not going to go into it, but it's usually sometimes stress that causes reflux. That's what definitely I experienced when I started having reflux. It was because I was stressed out. Okay. So what's the next step? If this is something you want to do, we're going to start April 27th. That's the last Monday of this month. Okay, that's probably in a week and a half. All right. If you want to join this wait list, comment reset. Comment reset wherever you're watching this live, in my Facebook group or on YouTube. Comment reset. If you know how to reach me, contact me. I already have 2 people on the list, and I'm going to probably stop at 10 people with this program. And once I get a good list of people, right, then I'm going to start sending that link out to people to sign up. All right. And of course, if you have questions and you know how to reach me, you can contact me through the Facebook group, Messenger, my email, right? Join that email newsletter. You can reply to those emails and I get them. And I usually get back to people within 24 hours. So comment reset. If you want to be on the list for this, we start April 27th. This is going to be on a certain platform. So it's not like something you have to go in person. All right. It is a remote thing, but you're going to be connected with other people. It's not completely solo. You're going to be involved in a group, okay, whether on this app that I use. All right, so that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your support, as always. And I'm going to leave you with this question, all right? A little journal question before I sign off here, and that is, ask yourself this: where can I give my body a little more space this week? All right, I'm going to repeat that. Where can I give my body a little more space this week? All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.